Meng's new drama has wrapped filming. Pre-orders have surpassed 150,000. This marks the 7th collaboration between Meng and Shen Haonan, in an ancient version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where they use scientific methods to fall in love and turn a potentially fatal marriage into a sweet triumph, with pre-orders soaring past the 150,000 mark well ahead of release. The numbers alone signal one thing: anticipation. Behind them lies a collective eagerness to witness Meng and Shen Haonan reunite for the 7th time on screen. By now, their names paired together function almost like a seal of quality, an unspoken promise of chemistry, rhythm, and narrative payoff. Their latest collaboration, Breaking the Engagement, Forcing a Marriage to the Eunuch, announces its intentions boldly through its title alone. This is not a conventional romance built on whispered confessions and soft glances. Instead, it opens as a calculated alliance, an inherently unstable, high-stakes marriage forged amid political maneuvering, sharp wit, and constant danger. Love, if it comes at all, is something that must fight its way through strategy and survival. Meng's character, Union, is the drama's most disruptive force. Far from a traditional historical heroine, she is a 21st-century scientific researcher who has crossed timelines armed with modern logic and empirical thinking. When she opens her eyes, she realizes she has fallen into the world of a costume novel, worse still, into the role of a doomed supporting character. Her family is written as villains fated for destruction, and her original self is shackled by a naive, romance-obsessed mindset. Rather than submitting to the script, Union chooses to rewrite it. She dissects ancient systems with scientific reasoning, challenges feudal logic with sharp pragmatism, and treats fate as a problem to be solved rather than endured. Each decision she makes nudges the story away from tragedy and toward possibility. What makes the series compelling is not just its reversals of familiar tropes, but the emotional residue it leaves behind. Beneath the humor and intrigue lies a resonant question: if you were given foresight and the courage to think differently, could you change your ending? By the final episode, viewers are left not only entertained, but quietly empowered, reminded that agency, not destiny, is the true engine of transformation. Adding insult to injury, an unreliable system complicates Union's fight for survival in the most ruthless way possible. Her remaining life points are forcibly linked to the most dangerous villain in the entire novel, the infamous 9,000 years, Shen Haonan. Feared across the court and whispered about in dark corners, he is the ruthless eunuch power broker no one dares to cross. To stay alive. To save her doomed family. The system offers only one brutally straightforward solution: marry him. Thus begins a forced marriage not born of romance, but of pure survival instinct. On the surface, Union appears to lean into the role with startling enthusiasm. She flirts, closes the distance, and seems almost reckless in her bold advances toward Shen Haonan. But beneath that calculated charm lies a razor-sharp mind at work. Every smile is a test. Every interaction, an experiment. As a scientist trapped in an ancient world, she approaches marriage the way she would a research problem, by collecting data, identifying variables, and stress-testing outcomes. What follows is a dangerous yet darkly comedic dance between two people who are anything but transparent. Shen Haonan is no naive antagonist. Power has sharpened his instincts, and suspicion is his default state. Union's affection intrigues him precisely because it feels deliberate, almost engineered. The tension between them crackles, not with instant love, but with intellectual sparring, mutual probing, and a constant question of who is truly in control. Breaking the Engagement, Forcing a Marriage to the Eunuch stands out because it reframes romance as strategy and survival as a form of intelligence. It asks viewers to consider love not as destiny, but as a variable, one that can be negotiated, tested, and even rewritten. By the time the story unfolds, audiences are left with more than entertainment. They are invited to reflect on resilience, agency, and the power of rational thought in the face of seemingly inescapable fate. In a world governed by rigid scripts, Union's greatest rebellion is simple yet profound. She refuses to die according to someone else's design. Portrayed by Shen Haonan, Shen Haonan is the drama's most tantalizing enigma and its emotional fault line. As the all-powerful 9,000 years, He dominates the imperial court with an ominous presence, ruthless methods, and an authority that inspires fear rather than loyalty. He is the kind of figure people avoid even mentioning by name. So when a woman of suspicious background insists, by every means possible, on marrying him, his first instinct is not curiosity, but alarm. To Shen Haonan, Union is a potential pawn sent by rival factions. Each step she takes toward him is met with icy scrutiny, calculated tests, and deliberate emotional distance. He watches, probes, and waits for her mask to slip. Yet as the story unfolds, the character reveals layers far richer than his fearsome reputation suggests. The drama's most pivotal twist lies in his hidden truth: Shen Haonan is not a real eunuch. This carefully guarded secret reshapes everything. It explains his isolation, his paranoia, and the rigid armor he wears in both politics and human connection. It also propels his relationship with Union into deeply unpredictable territory. What begins as mutual suspicion and strategic use slowly fractures under pressure. Union's way of thinking, direct, logical, and utterly unlike that of any woman from his world, unsettles him. Her refusal to play by unspoken rules, her habit of confronting problems head-on, and her lack of reverence for his power all chip away at his defenses. Without realizing it, Shen Haonan finds himself drawn to her clarity and courage. This shift is not framed as sudden romance, but as an internal rupture. For a man who has survived by distrusting everyone, attraction becomes the most dangerous variable of all. In breaking the engagement, forcing a marriage to the eunuch, Shen Haonan is not merely a villain or love interest, he is a question mark. And it is precisely this slow, believable unraveling that keeps audiences watching, eager to see what happens when absolute control finally gives way to human vulnerability. Shen Haonan's performance is one of the drama's most anticipated highlights. Many viewers are eager to see him once again embody that signature contrast. He excels at the illusion of madness and cruelty on the surface, masking profound tenderness beneath. His crying scenes, in particular, are widely praised for their raw emotional impact, capable of conveying a fractured vulnerability that allows audiences to instantly empathize with Shen Haonan's long-suppressed pain and softness. This marks the seventh time Meng and Shen Haonan have appeared together as partners or romantic leads. 7 collaborations have forged an almost instinctive chemistry between them. A shared glance, a subtle pause, a perfectly timed gesture. These small details transmit layers of emotion with remarkable efficiency, translating directly into a powerful on-screen CP dynamic. In breaking the engagement, forcing a marriage to the eunuch, their character contrast is especially striking. Union is a modern, quick-thinking scientist who applies logic and empirical methods to conquer a villainous world. Shen Haonan, by contrast, is a brooding, secret-laden power figure shaped by suspicion and restraint. The scientific mastermind versus shadowed court eunuch pairing generates an unusual yet compelling chemistry. Their interactions are not built on sugary romance, but on intellectual sparring and emotional chess. Union's blunt, straightforward advances frequently catch Shen Haonan off guard, while his rare flashes of genuine emotion begin to shake her purely mission-driven mindset. At its core, the series adopts a light comedic tone. Union's use of modern thinking to navigate ancient dilemmas, such as drafting a post-marriage survival plan with project management logic or analyzing Shen Haonan's behavior through psychology, creates frequent moments of humor through the clash of eras. Yet beneath the laughter runs a steady current of intrigue. What political secrets lie behind Shen Haonan's false eunuch identity? Why is Union's family destined to be villains? And what is the system's true endgame? These unanswered questions propel the narrative forward with polished production design and a boldly unconventional premise. Audience expectations for this 7th reunion go far beyond romance. The 150,000 pre-orders are only the beginning. When a life-saving forced marriage collides with a trap of forbidden truth, where will this absurd contract ultimately lead? The answer awaits on screen.